hold on, don't butt me. You guys go. Hey guys, my name is Evan and welcome to Country View Acres. So today I'm going to be doing a couple little small projects today, and I'm going to try to streamline our homestead chores or our farm chores. So one thing I want to do is I want to make a permanent feed trough for the steers. Something that's a little bit bigger than that, where they have a little bit more room to eat. And I want to attach it to the fence line so that they can't move it all over the pasture, because the little one they have right now, they move it all around. Sometimes you have to come in here and find it. So that's one of the projects we're going to be doing today. The other one's going to be a water trough. We're going to do a bigger water trough, and we're going to go ahead and do it with a float so that it automatically fills up, and we don't have to come into the pasture every evening and try to fill up their water and try to find their feed trough. So that's a couple of the few things to streamline our chores. We've done other things, and I'll probably take you around and show some of the other things that we've done over the last week. So I'll take a quick measurement right here. This is where I want to mount it, right between these two posts on the inside. That's about 10 foot 4 inches. So I've got a 55-gallon drum that I just got done bleaching out. This is a food grade drum. And then I've got a 150-gallon Rubbermaid water tank, and we're going to be putting a float in there, and we're going to put it next to the fence line so that we can see it and make sure that it stays filled up. But let's go ahead and start with the feed trough. So I'm just going to take the saw and I'm just going to cut down this seam and cut down the sides, cut this in half. All right, so for this feed trough, I'm thinking about putting these two barrels together with the bottoms facing each other. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a lot of this away here in the middle so that they can move their heads back and forth and they don't have this divider. So there's a little bit of a seam here on the bottom. I'm just going to follow that and cut that out and see how it looks. I'm thinking something like that, button them together. But what I want to do is I want to build a wooden frame that goes around it, and then that'll attach to the fence. And then we're also going to put a board under it to help support the weight as they eat and push down on it. That looks pretty good. All right, I think that's pretty much what we're looking for. It's going to look like this. This longer board on the back is so that we can hopefully attach this to the fence posts. And then the legs are long because we're going to cut those so that this sits level, because it is going down a hill. So it's not going to sit as high as this. We're just going to cut them down in the field. But I think that'll make a nice big feed trough for the steers. And I think we're done. It's ready to go. So we built the frame around it. One thing we did do that we didn't show on camera is the nozzles, the little nozzles that were sticking out in the way of the boards. So we ended up cutting the nozzles off the end just so it was nice and flat. And it's all screwed down, ready to go.
He knows what it is.
Okay.
He's figured it out. food.
Oh man, it's quite a bit to be level right there. Come to this side and hold this corner. 6 1/4 inches. Okay, come my way here, so right there. I'm on the center of my post. You're not even.
Not quite.
You don't think it is?
No, you're.
It's level.
Oh, it looks like it's going up.
That's how much downhill it is. It's level. That still looks pretty high, don't you think? Hey, Fireball, come here. Need to measure your neck.
Fireball. Come here.
Well, let's say we want to make this 24 inches tall. I think that's what the water trough is.
I mean, you see them eating off the ground.
But I mean, they eat out of that. They drink out of that water trough. I think it's 24 inches tall. So it's. We gotta take 2 1/2 inches off each side, and we'll be 24 inches tall. Probably come your way just a hair. All right, we think we've got everything level now. We're gonna go ahead and attach it to the post. The bad thing is I didn't have a board that long. All I had was 10-foot boards, so I'm a couple inches short on each side. So we're gonna put a lag screw in here, and it's probably gonna have to go in at an angle just to get it into the post. Not ideal, but I think it's gonna hold. About right there. Looks pretty good. All right, the feed trough, that's fairly secure. I think hopefully that'll work. I don't think they'll get too rough on it. So the last thing to do is this will fill up with water. So we're gonna drill some holes in it just as drains. So hopefully when we go to feed them, it's not a lake. So put about 8 in this. So that 2x4 is underneath supporting it. Just trying to put a hole on each side of that 2x4. That one I found the 2x4. I probably should have went ahead and drilled the hose before we brought it out here. That way we could have washed all this dust out of here. We did wash it. It was clean before I drilled these holes. Oh, the steers are gonna get spoiled today because they're gonna get some more food. Well, they definitely got a lot more room to eat, but I still think they're gonna fight over it a little bit. All right, the feed trough's all done. We went ahead and we put their protein tub in there for them as well. And the reason we're streamlining these chores is not just for us. I mean, it'll make it easier for us, but we're actually doing it because we're actually gonna take our first vacation in like 6 years. And our neighbors are gonna take care of the animals while we're gone. We're only gonna be gone like 2 nights, 3 days and 2 nights, not very long. And so we're trying to make everything as easy as possible for them to be able to take care of this place. So one of the things, of course, is gonna be water. We're gonna do the water trough next. So what we were feeding them out of, we were actually feeding them in a 40-gallon water trough. So now we're taking that, we're filling that up so that we have a short water trough here in the barnyard for the animals. So we're trying to set everything up so they don't have to hopefully mess with any water while we're gone. So we're gonna have this big water trough here. I'll show you what else we did on the inside of the barn. So here in the chicken coop, of course, we got 2 big feeders. This will definitely last the whole time. They shouldn't have to mess with that. We normally use just a bucket and add water to it every day, but what we've done is we took another tub here and we've got it filled with water. And so the chickens should have plenty of water, plenty of feed, where all they have to do is lock them up at night. So for the goats, we also had like a couple hanging buckets, and we would have to refill those every day. So instead of doing that, what we've got is we added another water trough in here. This is about a 20 gallon, and we've got it full of water for the goats. And once again, the only thing, they shouldn't have to mess with water for the goats. They should just give them a little bit of feed at night and lock them up. So for the baby turkeys, you can see the babies are even getting pretty big, aren't they? So in here, we're gonna probably clean it out before we go. But we've got a hanging feeder, so it's got plenty of food for them. And then we ended up adding the big water. I think this one holds at least a couple gallons, and we've got the 2 short ones. So plenty of water in here for the turkeys. We've got this little tray in here, and that's helping keep the water from getting everywhere. So the water stays in there. We'll clean this out a little bit before we leave. The only thing they should have to do, I don't even know if they'll have to do anything. They'll probably have enough food, and they'll probably have enough water for the time that we're gone. So the only thing they got to really do with the turkeys is probably just check on them, make sure they're okay, and make sure they don't let any cats get to them, because I think they're still small enough the cats will mess with the small ones. And they'll have to feed the cats, of course. So they'll have to come in here. We've got a feed bin over here full of cat food. They'll just have to put it in their bowls and feed the cats every evening, find the eggs, and lock everything up. Let them out in the morning. So we're trying to make everything as simple as possible for the neighbors to be able to take care of our property. They've got like 4 kids. So their 4 kids are gonna come over here and put the animals up, and I think their kids are gonna enjoy it. But we're just trying to make sure everything is as streamlined as possible. So hopefully they won't have to mess with any water while we're gone. And I think they'll only have to give some feed to the steers, some feed to the goats, and some feed to the cats. I think that's all. I think the rest of the animals will have enough feed in their feeders that they should be fine. So I think probably the hardest thing that they'll have to deal with is probably our girl turkey, chasing her into the barn at night. What do you think?
Yeah, and she's jumped out of the fence the last couple nights. They've not been behaving like they normally do for some reason.
Yeah, she's acted kind of weird. We've never had our turkey get outside the fence, and she has the last 2 nights. So it may be interesting. That may be because if they wait till dusk and the lights are out in the barn, the chickens will go up for them, and they'll just have to basically close everybody up and give them some feed. The turkey, you have to chase in every night. So they may have fun chasing the turkey around.
And you have to give her cat food.
And the turkey eats cat food. She has her own personal bowl. So we're gonna go ahead and put our float in the water trough. And what I have here is I have a Job valve, and this is the Rojo valve. You see everybody talk about the mega flow valves, and they can work on low pressure. But this one isn't that valve. This one's about half the price. So if you're not running off of like a low pressure water system, this one may be the one that you wanna go with, because it'll save you a little bit of money. So this valve is basically got a bulkhead fitting on this end where you drill a hole through the tank. It's got a rubber gasket, and you just thread it on there and tighten that down. And then it has a float that pulls up on it to be able to close the valve. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill a hole in the tank because the hole that's in it for the drain is too big for this. So I'm just gonna drill another hole on the backside. We'll get this mounted. So these Rubbermaid tanks have a nice flat spot here to be able to mount stuff. And that actually drilled way easier than I thought it would. So the rubber gasket's gonna go on the inside. So I bought this little adapter here. So this is 3/4 inch pipe on one side, and then it's actually 3/4 inch garden hose thread on the other side. It's got the garden hose washer in there. Even though they're both 3/4 inch, it's actually a different thread. So you want to buy the one that has a swivel so that you can actually swivel this and tighten it onto your garden hose. So since this is a bulkhead fitting down here, it is the same as pipe thread, but it's not tapered, it's straight for that nut that fits on there. And I've had trouble with this sealing. I've tested this out already. So I'm gonna put a little bit of pipe dope on here. I've got some Teflon tape on there, and now I'm actually putting some liquid you know, pipe dope, Teflon pipe dope on here. And I'm hoping to get this to seal. If this doesn't work, we're gonna test it. If this doesn't work, I think we'll cut down a rubber washer and we'll actually put one, so there's a washer on both sides of this little adapter. It just threads on real easy and then it just bottoms out. So you don't feel like you got a good tight fit. All right, we're gonna go ahead and hook this to the garden hose and just see if it leaks or not. If it does, we'll put a washer in it. So this is why you want that swivel one. It's because you need it to be able to turn and tighten up your garden hose. So I'm gonna have to pull up on this like you would the float, turn it off, and then we'll see if we got any water leaking. All right, looks like it held. We're gonna go ahead and take this out to the pasture. So we're using this heavy duty red, like farm or industrial style hose. And we've had this one for like 3 years. It's a real good hose, especially for something you're gonna leave water on all the time. You want a good one, not a cheap one. In case you get a water leak, you could lose thousands of gallons in a day, you know, just before you find the leak. So we're gonna adjust this so the float's just an inch or two below the top. Hopefully that will be close. So this valve is slower. I think it's only like 5 gallons a minute. So for a 150 gallon tank, I think this is gonna end up taking about 30 minutes to fill up. And really it's not like the steers drink water that fast. So this should keep it plenty topped off during the day. So if you really think about it, that's still enough to fill this water trough up 48 times in a day. So, and that's really the flow that it is under water pressure. We got like 50 PSI water pressure. And if you did have a low flow system, you know, like a gravity fed system, this would not be the valve that you would want, but it should work fine for our application. So the reason we're going on vacation is because this is our wedding anniversary.
Yep, 17 years.
17 years today. Mm-hmm. Yep, so we're gonna go on a trip to Branson, Missouri. That's where we're gonna go.
I've never been there.
Yeah, I was there for a couple times when I was younger in high school. So we're gonna head over to Branson, Missouri. We got a cabin on Table Rock Lake for a couple nights.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be 102 degrees.
It'll be hot. Yeah, one of the ideas was to go up to like Pictured Rocks up in Lake Superior on the upper Michigan and go up there. Definitely would have been cooler than down here, but it was way longer of a drive. And you want it to be a short trip.
Yeah, and I don't wanna impose on our neighbors. I mean, they have chickens and 1 rabbit, so they're not used to some of these bigger animals, and I don't want to overwhelm them. So
yeah, I think they're very interested in what we're doing with livestock, and they're interested in whether they should get goats. I think they're thought about getting some goats and some stuff. So I think that they want to learn more. So this will be a good experience for them. But like she said, we don't want to. We hate to drop all our livestock and on somebody to take care of. So it's just gonna be a short little trip. I'm sure by the time this video posts, we'll probably be back already. So today is July 2nd. July 2nd, and this is actually our anniversary today. And then we're gonna be leaving for Branson here in another day or so. And I'm sure we'll be back from our vacation by the time this posts on the internet.
Neighbors, if you're watching, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for taking care of them. Hopefully nothing went wrong while we were gone. All right, I think we got everything set up the way we want it. So the water trough's right here on the side, so you can look right in, make sure it's filled up. There's no reason to get into the pasture with the steers. We got the feed trough, we've got all the other animals set up, so all the chores should be streamlined now. It should be pretty easy to do all the chores around here. And now me and Rebecca just got to get everything packed up so that we can go on our little vacation. So having your anniversary on July 2nd it ends up always being like the busiest week because July 4th is our Independence Day, and I'm sure it'll be a very busy trip. But we'll probably go ahead. We'll film some of the stuff that we do on our trip, like the cabin we have on Table Rock Lake, maybe some of the other highlights of the trip, and that'll probably be our next video. But I think that is it for this one, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys had a happy and safe 4th of July, and we'll see you in the next one.
Go on the other side. Go on. Go on the other side. Go on, Petey. Go on the other side. Go on.